honors government class in the back of the room for their second or third trip in here. Welcome again, folks. Glad to have you. And I'd like to call to order the Monday, July 20th, 2026 meeting of the Lake Zurich Village Board. Kathleen, please call the roll.
Mayor Poynton,
Here.
Trustee Boradwaj,
Here.
Trustee Marks.
Here.
Trustee Riley.
Here.
Trustee Shagru.
Here.
Trustee Wider.
Present.
Trustee Mark Spalcone is absent and excused.
Okay, thank you. We have a quorum. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda, and I'll just read the legalese, is public comment, and public comment is an opportunity for residents to comment briefly on matters included on the agenda and otherwise of interest to the Board of Trustees. Public comment is limited to 30 minutes in total or 5 minutes per speaker. When you step to the podium, and for the record, please identify yourself with your name and address. Please speak clearly and distinctly into the microphone and address your comments to the board. We will take comments from the sign-in sheet in the order in which folks signed in. I've been advised that there are nobody signed up for public comment, so I'll give anybody in the audience one more chance. If anybody would like to speak at public comment, I'm not seeing anybody moving, so we'll close public comment, and we will move on to the President's report. I have two items on the President's report. One is a reminder that this Wednesday, July 27th, at 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, we will have coffee with the mayor at Fire Station 1. So our usual spot is the coffee cup on the previous Wednesday, but we are looking to do it at the fire department, Fire Station 1. So that's Wednesday from 9 to 11, coffee with the mayor. The second thing is I just want to advise the community that we are now an official member. What did I say? 27. Oh, 22nd. We already screwed it up once today. So 22nd of July. We are now an official member of CLC Jawa and a voting member of the Board of Trustees. So another check mark on the list of things we get to get accomplished as we move towards Lake Michigan water. And that's it for me. We'll move on to the consent agenda. The titles will be read by the village clerk and approved by a single roll call vote. Any item can be pulled from the consent agenda for discussion or separate vote by any member of the board. Kathleen, would you please read the titles?
6A, approval of minutes from the village board meeting of July 6th, 2026. 6B, approval of executive session minutes from the meeting of June 1st, 2026. 6C, approval of the semi-monthly warrant register dated July 14, 2026 in the amount of $1,821,941.75. 6D, approval of a reservation request for the Polis Park Woodland Trails Center Stage and Lakeside Pavilions. 6E, award contracts to Valley Security Company and RJE Painting Company for security door improvements.
Okay. Are there any board questions or discussion desired on any item, or would anyone like to have any item pulled for a separate vote? Anybody? No? Okay. Then I'd like to make a motion, and I need a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. So I make the motion, and a second, please.
Second, Shagru.
Roger, Kathleen, please call the roll.
Trustee Boradwaj.
Aye.
Trustee Marks.
Aye.
Trustee Riley.
Aye.
Trustee Shagru.
Aye.
Trustee Wider.
Aye.
Okay.
Motion carries.
Consent agenda passes. We move on now to new business. The first item on new business, Trustee Riley.
Yeah. Authorization to waive competitive bid process and approve
replacement of Orchard Lift Station hydromatic pump not to exceed $30,225. In summary, the Orchard Lift Station is part of the Village sanitary sewer collection system that serves Rand Road and Route 22, commercial and retail corridors, and several other residential areas. On May 28th, 2026, the 20-year-old hydromatic pump failed during its normal operation. The pump was sent to Metropolitan Pump Company. The sole service vendor of a hydromatic pump determined that it's more economical to replace the pump than to repair it. This is an unanticipated expenditure for the FY26 budget. There are offsetting savings from sanitary sewer infrastructure improvements that will cover the expense. Staff requests that the competitive bid process be waived for Metropolitan Pump Company, as they are the sole source supplier for the pump.
Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. Anyhow, this is here we go. Single source provider, as Trustee Riley had mentioned. And so this pump failed, 20-year-old pump. We're putting back in kind what was there. And as Trustee Riley stated, that Metropolitan Pump is the sole source provider. They're certified to work on the equipment, and it's a pump that has worked well for us, and it's comfortable that we use this, and recommended we reuse them in all of our sanitary lift stations. So any questions, comments? I'm happy to answer anything that you may have.
Board? Pretty self-explanatory.
Exactly.
Sole
It's not the
source
first time
provider.
we've done this. It's the same source Metropolitan Pump that we've
Right.
recommended in the past.
Okay. William?
Yeah, so hearing that, I'd like to make a motion to waive the competitive bid process and approve the proposal for the Metropolitan Pump Company to replace the hydromatic pump for the Orchard Lift Station not to exceed $30,225.
Motion?
I made the motion.
He made the motion.
You made the motion.
Second,
Okay.
Marks.
Second, Jake? Okay, Kathleen, please call the roll.
Trustee Marks?
Aye.
Trustee Riley?
Aye.
Trustee Shagru?
Aye.
Trustee Wider?
Aye.
Trustee Baradwaj? Aye.
Okey-dokey, that passes. We move on now to a couple of fun things. The next item on the agenda is a courtesy review of Tactic Sports Performance Facility. Trustee Marks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item B, for the Tactic Sports Facility at 625 Rose Road. In summary, the applicant, Tactic Performance Center, is requesting a courtesy review for a proposed indoor youth and high school sports performance training facility at 625 Rose Road. Tactic Sports Performance has operated in Lake Zurich for 5 years at 353 Enterprise Parkway and currently trains over 1,000 athletes. They plan to relocate to the new permanent facility, keeping them in Lake Zurich. The purpose of this review is to introduce the proposed concept to the Village Board and obtain feedback on the project. 625 Rose Road is currently vacant land in the Lake Zurich Industrial Park. The proposed single-story building with a mezzanine will be approximately 55,000 to 60,000 square feet. The facility will operate on weekdays with sessions starting at 4 p.m. and peak hours between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The applicant will seek approval for a special use permit to allow indoor sports performance athletic training use within the I-1/I-2 district, along with site plan approval. This is a non-voting item as the applicant is requesting Village Board's feedback on the proposed development concept.
Okay, Michael, I think we have,
We have representatives from Tactic Sports here. I would encourage them to come to the podium. I believe you're Casey? Yes, sir. Wonderful. We have your presentation loaded, so when you're ready, it'll come up on the screen automatically, and then you can run it from there if you'd like.
Sounds good.
Welcome.
Thank you. All right. Is it coming up? There we go. All right, Mr. Mayor, members of the board, thank you for having me. My name is Casey Teisman. I've been a resident here since 2019, owner and founder of Tactic Sports Performance. We've had 3 lovely children since we've been here. We love the community, love the town, the village, the organizations, the schools, everything about it. We've been committed to this place. Some of you may already know Tactic. we've worked with over 3,000, my figures were a little wrong, 3,000 Lake Zurich and area athletes, parents, teams, and organizations. We know these families. We've watched them grow up and develop over the past 5 years, and we've also watched them drive away from this town, taking their kids, their time, and their spending somewhere else. Because currently Lake Zurich doesn't have an expansive indoor space its own athletes can utilize. Tonight, on behalf of myself, my partner RJ Perua, who is unavailable tonight, I'm here to publicly introduce the next chapter for my company and for the community, the Tactic Athletic Campus, a project we're committed to building here at home. One up, there you go. We are not a new business asking for a chance. We're Lake Zurich's training partner, simply asking to grow. An established local business with proven training systems, an active coaching staff, and relationships from individual athletes, parents, teams, and elite travel organizations. And this campus is built in our image, a true performance center, with every amenity that the mission requires. We won't open with projections and hope. We open with a built-in community and committed organizations already. The Tactic Athletic Campus, roughly 60,000 square feet, but built not as a field house, but as a full, expansive training center. Field houses rent space. A training center develops athletes and everyone looking to improve their health and wellness. The facility will have 2 main integrated spaces, engineered to multiply each other. An expansive convertible turf, large enough for soccer, baseball, softball, lacrosse, football, flag football, just to name a few. We'll also feature adaptable drop-down cages overhead that can be lowered for batting and pitching practice, raised in minutes for field work. 1 space working as 2 all day long. And a dedicated athlete performance center where professionally coached speed, strength, and agility development for athletes at every level. The biggest thing for us is what happens inside of it. Year-round training programs across numerous sports, individual sport academies, summer, holiday, school break camps for every age range. If you're a working parent, you know exactly what that costs. We will push to become a recognized facility that hosts high-level combines and showcases, bringing college recruitment opportunities right to Lake Zurich's front door. Our athletes evaluated in their own backyard, and college coaches and visiting families coming to this village. We're also building partnerships to cover, oops, missed that one. I'll pause on that one. We're also building partnerships to cover the whole athlete, body and mind, with the potential to add full recovery services, include cold and hot plunge tubs, massage therapy, chiropractic, physical therapy, and sports psychology, which almost no facility in this region offers. And it's not just for kids. Morning adult programs, corporate fitness for surrounding businesses, hospital staff, and more. Family training packages, birthday parties, event rooms, food and beverage so families can stay and gather. Enough capacity for tournaments and banquets. And we're exploring options to partner with dance, mixed martial arts, golf simulators, anybody who wants to be inside of this place. As a military veteran myself, we'd also love to work with our first responders to keep them in top shape, reducing insurance costs, and improving quality of life for them to continue to do their heroic work. From a 6-year-old first camp to a parent's morning workout, there's a reason for nearly every household in Lake Zurich to walk through our doors. This is a professionally financed, multi-million-dollar development backed by an experienced real estate partner with a full financial model and development plan in place. And we've chosen our home, 625 Rose Road, right here in Lake Zurich, conveniently located with super easy access. This is where our athletes are. This is where we want to build. Economically, a major privately led investment, new construction and new jobs, especially for our young adults. And every tournament and showcase weekend can bring large numbers of visiting families into this village, our restaurants, our stores, our hotel. New money weekend after weekend. For families, 5 months a year and sometimes more outdoor sports shut down. This campus means those months belong to Lake Zurich's kids. It is a safe and supervised location for young people, and with recovery, physical therapy, and sports psychology, it's a health and wellness asset for the whole community. And as a neighbor, I want to speak directly to traffic, because I know it's an important question with a project this size. Everything happens inside the building. No outdoor fields, no lighting, no outdoor noise. For most of the year, as we've spoken before, our traffic is reverse cyclical to the businesses around us. When the traffic is heaviest, we're quiet. When they're busiest, evenings and weekends, the neighborhood is emptied out. And this is a scheduled service training center. Classes, lessons, block scheduled times, not a revolving door box gym. Arrivals are predictable, staggered, and managed by design. And the building itself, one more back. And the building itself will be modern and beautiful with fantastic landscaping. A true destination all of Lake Zurich will be proud of. Not a metal box on a slab. A landmark. We want to work with the village on the facade, landscaping, and signage. Our interests are aligned because this building's curb appeal is part of our brand. The capital, the plan, and the site are in place. We've been working closely with village staff already, and we know the road ahead. Our target is roughly 18 months or less from site control to open doors. Tonight for us isn't about approvals. Those will come through the formal process, and we'll earn every one of them. Tonight is about going public. We want this board and this community to hear it from us first. We are committed to building the Tactic Athletic Campus in Lake Zurich, and we're all in. What we ask is simple, is your questions, your feedback, and hopefully your partnership. We want to build this with the village, not just in it. Tactic has spent years earning the trust in Lake Zurich's athletes and families. This campus, for us, is how we repay it. A place where our kids and my own kids develop for years to come, where college recruiters come to us, and the village shares in everything it brings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Michael, anything?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Apologize. Nothing to add. I think that was.
Okay. Board members, comments? Jake?
I think it sounds like a great idea, and obviously you have a presence here already, so, yeah, full steam ahead, sounds great.
Yeah, so obviously you're established here, been a customer of yours in the past. I'll say it's known that you and the rest of your staff work really well with the other groups within Lake Zurich. I think not only will we keep folks from going to 5 different locations to get all the services that you just ran through there, we'll also be able to get individuals from other towns. So I do know you have other locations. Are you expanding in those as well, or is you trying to hunker down as this is your main headquarters?
As of 2024, this is our only location.
Okay, all right, good.
Consolidated.
Sue? No? Roger?
I'll just give you props. That presentation was solid.
Thanks.
You know, a lot of people present to us all the time, and you did an outstanding job. My kids as well are part of the program, and they always have furnace face when they leave, so that you guys are working them extremely hard, so I appreciate all that. You answered my one question, time frame to build, 18 months. I love how you can make it multi-use, not just set specific for training and facility. I'm kind of like the rest of us. I love it. I appreciate you wanting to stay in Lake Zurich. It's a beautiful concept. You see those, I feel like, at college campuses, and it kind of looks the part, right, of a very well looked at area for what it is. So nice job. I appreciate it. I'm good on my end. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks again for your presentation. It was exceptional. So, 2 questions, more out of curiosity than feedback to the project. So, you had mentioned college recruiters, folks coming into the community to maybe see athletes, those kinds of things. I'm just kind of curious what kind of relationships you have with college athletic programs currently, and do you see that something that would significantly expand with this new facility?
Yeah, I mean, we have my personal self. I used to coach at North Dakota College. Still pretty tight with the network there. We also have, if we kind of went down this route and it goes through, we have a couple of people who are well connected who would almost be taking a role of director, head coaches with us as well. Well integrated, former college directors themselves. So our network would span out. We don't have a ton of people, but we're very familiar with how to attract those individuals into our place. Through previous showcases and camps that athletes attend, you can start to build those networks pretty well. Soccer coaches that we have their own network as well to bring in. If we do a soccer showcase or combine for that, local high school football coaches, working with the new coach to use his network as well. So we'll generate that as we go, but the hardest part for those is generating the actual scientific methods for those. They have to be tailored in a specific pattern in order to be qualified for those athletes, especially in the back here, to put those on their college recruiting profiles. So that's more on my side. It's another thing where if you build it, they will come, I believe. But we do have a strong network, and especially with who we have coming on board, we'll be able to provide a bigger net for us to attract those college coaches.
Great, that's good. And my final question is, the village has made some strides, at least since I've been on the village board, with green initiatives, trying to make some of our buildings more environmentally friendly. And again, the presentation was great, but, and I might be putting the cart before the horse, but have you guys given any thought to those kind of issues as you're creating this plan?
We have made them a note with our architect. That's kind of our next phase as soon as we approach this, would be do our due diligence on that site. If we're kind of in the green light to go forward with this, obviously through the package and approvals of the special use permit. The site work there has been site work done there before, but it's been a very long time. So we need to probably go through there and due diligence to re-inspect it. But through our architect plan, we're doing everything we can to make it as green as possible and energy efficient.
Okay.
Because of that larger building, cost and everything else, we
Heating and
definitely
air
want to.
conditioning alone is
Yes.
probably an enormous expense.
We'll be
so.
using large fans.
Yeah, okay.
As best as
great.
we can.
Well, great, thank you very much. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
I think it's a terrific-looking building. Can you compare the services you offer now to the new or the improved services you'll be offering at the new facility? Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at this as being a destination place at this point, not just another sports facility.
I feel like it's going to be a destination place. If you compare it to the neighboring facilities around this area, it is basically a field house where you come in, you rent space, you do your team practices and everything else. We will have that, but when you add the training component of what we do, and that's one thing we're limited to, is space and time. Space and time for us is 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock, where we get most of our athletes during the school year. If we're constricted by space and time, we have to go bigger and expand. We're not able to offer physical therapy. We don't have the size. We're not able to offer the recovery services and the sports psychology. We don't have offices available for that. The one thing everyone in this area, and especially parents, know with athletes is during those times is you need turf space. It's very limited. And if we can help build a bigger building and offer those services, we can do so much more with that space. The training component for us, that's our main thing that we do now. It's going to be expansive, and we're going to be able to get more athletes in there who are going to see our facility and be able to help more people. Not only just athletes, but the average, student in school who just wants to be more confident, feel better about themselves. We have tons of referrals and reviews on that alone, but I think it's going to be not only a destination facility for people to come in, especially for those showcases and combines, but we're going to attract more athletes from different areas to come in and work with us.
So can you pull up the inside
Yeah.
view of that with the two turf sides?
These are all just concepts.
How,
So here-
how large are those two, at the two fields
Yeah.
there?
So
'Cause
these
you
are
were
actually,
talking about soccer and football and
they're not cut to scale quite right. We're looking at probably around 60 by 30 yard each.
30 yards wide, okay.
Yeah, so about 40,000 roughly in actual turf space with runoffs. Football 7-on-7 uses a 50 by almost 30 field. Canlan, if you compare it to theirs, the fields are very similar, and they run 7-on-7 small turf soccer games,
It's
practices.
not as big as Camlin, though,
No,
as a facility.
no, this is like a third maybe.
You got a full infield baseball field
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to do 30 by 30, so pretty close to an infield field.
Okay.
We're gonna have a drop down net that splits to two, a surrounding cage around to block any balls from being able to go off, and then we're also gonna have quadrants. We can make 4 quadrants out of the 2 fields, and that's where our cages will drop down and come up, so that baseball players can basically do 3 cages of batting, 2 cages of live. Click a button, it goes up. Now you can do infield work. Or if you want the whole thing, you take the whole thing and do long toss.
Can you merge the two fields together in any way, shape, or form and use that as one big field?
Yes, all our netting will be retractable.
Well, I mean, you got a center stripe down the middle there, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you envision it, I wasn't able to get as many slides as I'd like to, but envision it, the actual level itself, the middle turf will be on that line,
Gotcha.
which gives you enough runoff for any other sports that you could want to run.
You make a statement in your letter that says the village, the annual economic impact to the village based on internal impact analysis, including an estimated $30,000 to $50,000 in direct annual sales tax revenue. Where does that come from?
That one, I'll have to get back with you and talk to my partner on that one.
It's plus new property tax revenue from the currently vacant parcel, so that, we get that.
Yeah.
But what do you sell, what would you be selling in there that generates sales tax?
Well, we plan on having, obviously, the food and drink up top as best as we can.
You're gonna be selling equipment too, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll have equipment, we'll have our own merchandise and things like that. That's one I definitely have to get back with you on, send you information on that.
Okay, it's not that important, but you got the number in there, and I'm sure you're gonna be selling wraps and gloves.
Yeah, there'll be gym equipment, things like that, merchandise,
Right.
the food and drink.
Right, okay,
From a retail standpoint, that's about it.
okay, that's a plus.
Yeah.
And the other point I wanted to make out was, you talk about the wetlands and the streets and the utilities. Any such work will be coordinated with village engineering staff and completed to current village standards. That's important to us.
100%.
We don't want a half-assed job done. We'd like a top-notch quality job, and if you listen to this staff, they'll direct you to that. So whoever you choose as your general contractor, pass that message along,
100%.
okay?
Thank you.
Good for me.
Mayor, if I may, I keep seeing 625 Rose Road. We've been talking internally a little bit. I hope you're not really stuck on that address, because it's kind of the wrong address.
Okay.
We think that the address should be somewhere on 653 Rose Road, as you go there, but we can certainly talk about that. But I don't want that to be a hindrance when you go to close on the property.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay. Who had this one? Jake?
Yeah, that's
You
me.
done?
So, yeah, we're.
Okay, this is as you know, this is a non-voting item. You know, you can take the comments that were made here and decide whether you want to continue. I guess I would encourage you to at this point. I think it's a great-looking building, and I think it's a good use of that space as well, so we wish you good luck.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor,
Thank
trustees, thank you.
Okay, next item is another courtesy review. Trustee Marks again.
Me again. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item C, courtesy review of Club Car Wash at 898 South Rand Road. The applicant, Club Car Wash, is requesting a courtesy review for proposed car wash development at 898 South Rand Road. Club Car Wash operates more than 250 locations across the country. The purpose of this review is to introduce the proposed concept to the village board and obtain preliminary feedback and direction regarding the proposed use and operation of this location. The current structure will be demolished and the new car wash will be built on the property. The proposed car wash will have a tunnel that can hold up to 6 cars, and the site will have approximately 29 queuing spaces to prevent backups off-site. The car wash will operate from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Monday through Saturday during the summer, and 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. during daylight savings. On Sundays in the summer, the car wash will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. during daylight savings. Again, this is a non-voting item as the applicant is requesting village board feedback on the proposed development concept.
Okay. Club Car Wash have a presentation?
We do. We have a presentation loaded, as I announced earlier. You're welcome to go ahead and run that.
Okay.
I presume everybody's familiar with the location of 898 South Rand Road.
Hi there, Mr. Mayor, trustees. Appreciate your time tonight. Wanted to discuss kind of our proposal here for Club Car Wash. I'm Michael Leidig. I'm the engineer for Club Car Wash. I work with Robert E. Lee and Associates. Typically take these car wash sites from their preliminary phase, which we're at right now, all the way through detailed engineering design, construction, permitting, all the way through the final build of the site. I guess if we want to perfect. So I'll do most of my talking off of this primary slide here. So this is our preliminary concept located at 898 South Rand Road. What I'll do is just give a broad overview of the site, kind of take a walk through, describe a little bit about Club Car Wash, their business model, what they do, and then go into a few detailed items. So our primary entrance to Club Car Wash would be off of Frontage Road. So entering into the site, we have a queue lane directly to the east there. That stores 29 cars approximately. We can process through a vehicle through the car wash about once every 30 seconds. The car wash, the tunnel can fit 6 cars in at a time. When I say we can process through a vehicle every 30 seconds, that doesn't mean that's our anticipated output rate. That just means it's a continuous tunnel car wash, so a vehicle could leave every 30 seconds. The site is fully staffed at all times, so you have typically 5 staff members on site. 5 staff members on site. You have 2 folks up at the pay booth there, either in the booth signing people up for memberships. As the name Club Car Wash suggests, it's a membership service, so you sign up for a monthly tier subscription, and then you can wash your car as many times as you'd like. They do also offer single washes, so if you don't have a car or a club membership, you can just drive up and get a wash. As you pull through, typically during the opening phases, they have both lanes are signing people up, but once you do have a membership, there's a fast pass lane, a little sticker that goes in your windshield, you just drive through. Coming through, we do have an emergency discharge lane through there, so if for whatever reason they need to back cars out or the wash breaks down, something like that, there's an emergency, they can get folks out of there without having to back people up physically. Entering into the car wash, the site is all concrete yard, no asphalt on site. They do have heated concrete at the entrance and exit of the wash. That's to prevent icing. Obviously, northern winter is not something you want to have there. We do have inlets right in those locations, right at the beginning and end, to prevent icing to the maximum extent. 2 staff members are typically at the entrance of the car wash using pressure washers, blast bugs and gunk off your car kind of as a pre-rinse. Enter the car wash, you go through at whatever subscription tier you are. As you leave, there's self-service vacuums in the center of the site, so those allow you to, they have a vacuum, compressed air to blow any dust, things like that, vacuum or clips for your mats. They do have a trash receptacle on the back of each vacuum stanchion. Those are emptied every hour by staff members to keep the site tidy. They offer towels and rags to help do interior detail work as well. I don't want to prattle on too much. That's a brief overview of the site. So Club Car Wash, like was mentioned in the narrative, they're a nationally recognized brand. They've recently been making a push into northern Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, those areas. So there's probably 4 or 5 of these going in communities kind of around right now. There's, I believe, 3 active right now. Drawing a blank where they are. I know we have some working in North Aurora, or going in North Aurora, in Schaumburg, in a few other communities. So West Chicago, yep, North Aurora. So part of their membership, or part of their idea is going around to your membership good at any site. As noticed, I just want to get out in front of a couple items. So there is residential to the north side. Car washes, obviously, they do generate noise. We're fully committed to, being a good neighbor, those types of things. Full sound study to make sure we're meeting your noise ordinance. There is a pretty thick line of trees there right now, and what we've found is that foliage like that does a lot to help deaden that noise. Obviously, leaves fall in the wintertime, so things like fences, evergreen trees, those types of things. Club Car Wash does a lot of landscaping. It's all fully irrigated. They want their sites to look nice. The vacuum runs are, rather than having individual vacuum at each stanchion, they're powered by one vacuum turbine at the end. We move those to the south side of the site to keep those away. Same with the blowers. The tunnel's pitched so that the exit blowers are to the south side of the site. So, again, just I guess in the narrative, as far as traffic goes, we typically see what ITE estimates are, so around 90 trips per hour. Obviously, you get that one January day, you're going to have more than 90 trips per hour, but that's certainly not the average, not the norm. Typically, people have pass-by trips as well. You're not leaving your house, specifically coming here to go to a car wash. You're on your way home from work, you're already a trip that's on the road. So, I do also have the developer here as well, or the who would be the landlord, and that who is Bobby Miller, and then I do have Steve, who is a traffic engineer who works with Bobby as well. I think that's probably a pretty good. I guess I'll go to the next slide and just do a brief discussion on. So this is what a typical building would look like. High quality materials, CMU brick or CMU block painted. All the metallic on site is finished aluminum, so no rust, no nothing like that. They really want to have a good looking, clean, high quality site that sort of fits their brand. This is just some elevations along with the internal workings of the buildings. They have a few different prototype buildings. Obviously, you know, we want to work with the village. We want to maintain your landscape requirements. We want to maintain your aesthetic requirements. Put forward a building that looks nice and, you know, puts a good foot forward. I just want to speak last thing on the need for it. So Club Car Wash does a market analysis to see, you know, where there's a need. They want to be successful. Each building is about $5 to $6 million to develop. They don't want to do that for naught. So they've definitely done their due diligence. They see a need in Lake Zurich. From what I can tell, there's 2 car washes, none of them in like this caliber. It's like a gas station and then a pull-through car wash. So this is certainly a sort of a car wash of a different kind. Yeah, I think essentially what we're looking for is feedback here, any concerns, comments, things we can address early on in our site to try to come forward with the best proposal possible.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
go right to board comments. Jake, got anything?
Well, I don't know how much exposure you have to Lake Zurich, but this road and area has had some controversy in the last year or so. We had a coffee shop open up on the far end near the Walmart called Seven Brew. And since it's a private drive, there was a number of traffic issues and kerfuffles. So I would just encourage a robust traffic study, and especially since this isn't an area the village controls, it's private. This is a private road, I believe. You'll have to coordinate with the other businesses to make an arrangement that works. And just looking at the layout, it looks like ingress seems relatively easy, but getting out could be an issue. So that's just something to bear in mind.
Certainly. I appreciate you bringing up the traffic study. That's also one of the items we would provide as part of a study, or as part of a full submittal, is a full TIA, just to show that, you know, I can't speak to Seven Brew. I don't know what they're, you know, what's going on there. We have a couple car washes that are by Seven Brews already, and we have some over by where I live in Green Bay. So I can certainly appreciate the traffic there. But I guess, you know, we're not a Seven Brew. We're not a quick service restaurant. We're 90 trips per hour rather than, you know, 130 or 200 that you could have with a McDonald's or a Culver's or.
Yeah, makes sense. All good on mind.
William?
Yeah, I'll echo the traffic, just so you continue to maybe hear that along the way. Especially when you think about the next stage, if you decide to move forward and you go to PZC, the traffic's going to be something that you'll need to address and make sure you do your due diligence to maybe call out some things. When you're looking at the rendering you provided, is that to scale in terms of how many cars would actually fit in the parking lot?
It's probably a little conservative. We are confident we could fit that many cars, yeah.
And I would call that out. So if you're saying you're getting 90 an hour and you could fit essentially 35 in a line, I would call that out, because to Jake's point, and what I assume you'll hear further down the line as well, is Seven Brew, it creates an impact not only to the businesses right there. It's along the corridor, main corridor. You have the Walmart and busy retail component on the other end. Or residential on the other. It's just, you're gonna hit that pattern a lot. I do appreciate keeping the residents in mind in terms of keeping the sound on the south side. I also would stress, you know, continuing to go down the route of picking high quality materials. Just because it is a car wash doesn't mean it needs to look like a car wash, especially when it's on our main road like that. So
Certainly.
that's all I have for right now.
Appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. Sue?
I know, they asked Mike.
Okay, good. Raj?
Yeah, I think I echo, obviously, you're gonna hear about the, that frontage road being an issue. I guess mine is also the sound, so I guess my question that's different than the rest is your other locations. Are they more in a commercialized area, or they back up pretty close to residential like this would?
We do have quite a few. I can think of 2 or 3 off the top of my head that are adjacent to residential. We do a sound study. We do provide, essentially what we would propose is screening around the vacuums themselves, heavy screening around the entrance of the car wash to prevent any noise and sort of bounce that back toward the site and toward the noisier road. A lot of times, Club Car Wash wants to attract a lot of those pass-by trips, so they're on busy roads that are heavily trafficked. Typically what we see is we are at background noise levels by the time you're getting to our property line. So essentially, could you hear it if you were listening? Possibly, but we're no louder than what the existing traffic noise would be. And obviously, again, totally committed to meeting your noise ordinance.
And the other question, are there retractable doors, right? So we have going up and going down constantly, and however many you said you pump out every 30 seconds or so, right? It's a lot of hearing the blasts going. So just want to...
Yeah, so typically they do have doors that retract and go up and down. They typically use them mostly in the winter. When they have essentially a queue that's going in and feeding in, they typically leave the door open. Again, they're able to meet their noise ordinance requirements while leaving that door open, and we would provide a sound study to show that. I guess from our perspective, they haven't seen the need for like those high-speed roller doors that close and open every time. It just doesn't add a lot of value from their perspective if they're meeting their noise ordinance through intensive landscaping, screening, those types of things.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your presentation. Just a couple quick questions and then maybe a couple of quick comments. What's appealing about this location? Why this car wash in that spot?
So part of it is property availability. Part of it is the cost of the land. One of them is the ability to get folks in and off in a efficient manner. So traffic engineer here could do some speaking to that if that's a desire, if you're interested in hearing more about that. Otherwise, it'll come up in the traffic study. Mainly that's what they're looking for, is those abilities to have high pass by or high car volume going by to attract people into the area to get them signed up for memberships, and then that becomes a every Wednesday I wash my car type of thing. So that's why these locations sort of stick out.
Okay. And then why this community, and what would be the value add to the community if this business should come to town?
Certainly. They do charity work, other things like that. That's not necessarily always the biggest deal, but football cards, they love being on those football cards that folks sell in communities, fundraisers, those types of things. From an actual community perspective, they see a need, and you guys live here, you may be able to speak to this more, but there isn't a car wash of this size or of this scale in Lake Zurich from an environmental standpoint. Car washes do have a positive environmental impact. A lot of the total suspended solids that you get and heavy metals that you get are generated through gas and vehicles and those types of things. So rinsing those off, concentrating them, and then sending them to a wastewater treatment facility for proper treatment rather than having them wash off into stormwater is a net add to a community and to water quality. I didn't mention this in the presentation, but Club Car Wash does reuse 50% of the water that they take on site. So they reuse that for undercarriage, tires, non-sensitive areas, as well as washing through essentially they have a trough on the inside, so essentially wash water. So they do have an environmental consciousness to them. Mainly, it's a service. It's a service. People like clean cars. People like to be able to have this, and it's a net add to the community through a service benefit. There's employment opportunities, and then also with the club brand and kind of model, they are coming to the surrounding communities as well. So having one here just gives these residents in Lake Zurich an opportunity to use that service when they may be commuting to other places.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Just a couple thoughts, real quick. So I would say with regard to noise and noise studies, what we might think is loud is going to be perceived a little bit different by the folks living near this business. So should you decide to move forward, I think you need to spend some time talking to folks in the area. There's background noise. It's not much louder than the traffic that they would normally hear. I would say it's an addition. It's noise in addition to the current traffic, so it just has to be louder, right? I mean, it just does. With regard to the traffic, I understand you're 90 cars an hour, but again, it's very similar. That's an area that's been challenged in our community recently, and it's not the 90 cars, it's the 90 cars on top of the 300 cars that are coming through. So when you look at things like noise and traffic, I think it's an accumulation of things in this particular location that could be a bit challenging as you move forward in the process. So those would be my two comments, something for you to think about as you decide if this is the right location for this particular business. So, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Greg. Can you explain the car wash club membership concept? I'm getting the impression that this is not a full-service car wash where somebody washes your car, somebody dries it, they vacuum it, they do the tires, they do all that stuff. You're not that.
Correct.
You're more like the appendage to a gas station that's got a drive-through, a car wash with a vacuum maybe outside the door, and you bring your own towels and you wipe the thing off.
Yeah, I would say I would say we are closer to the first item you described rather than the second. So a typical gas station car wash is not the quality of wash that you get through one of these facilities. They're much more expensive. The equipment's much nicer. The water pressure is much higher. The chemicals they're using are much more. It's a dedicated car wash rather than sort of a standalone vending machine essentially. So the quality of the wash is certainly significantly better than what you would get at a gas station.
So if you want one car wash, what would it cost you?
Let's see, if you wanted one car wash, I want to say it's right around $12. Don't quote me on that. They have different membership tiers. So I do know their most expensive monthly membership tier. They have 4 different tiers. Their most expensive monthly membership tier is $50, and that allows you to wash your car as many times as you want throughout the month. So individual washes are about half the cost of a monthly membership. So I would say probably their most expensive wash would be right around $22, something like that.
So that's $12 to $22. You get your car washed, you come out, you do your own vacuuming, you do your own drying. Okay, is that right?
Yeah, they do the drying, like the blowers do the
Machine
drying,
will
but
get to a
yes,
certain point,
yep,
right.
essentially that's correct.
Okay. Will you own the building and the property? Are you buying the property, or is somebody else buying it and you're leasing it from them?
Yes, so Mr. Miller back here would be the purchaser of the land and would lease it to Club Car Wash. They do not do any franchising though, so Club Car Wash owns and operates all their sites. They lease land from people. Sometimes it's about, I want to say like 40% of their sites, of their 250, 260 sites are leases. And then the rest are Club Car Wash owned. This one just happens to be where it works out to be a lease site.
So I think the other members of the board talked about Seven Brew and the traffic generated there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen when Seven Brew runs
Yes, I
a
have.
promotion, that access point is jammed up on the curve to the Seven Brew. It goes all the way down to Deer Path. Oftentimes it'll go down Deer Path and then curl back onto Old Rand Road. That's in the extreme.
Sure.
But even half of that is going to be in your way. And
Yeah.
with the access there and the rehab center right being your next door neighbor, and the circulation of traffic into the neighborhood behind you, that's a bit of a cluster mess and waiting to happen as far as I'm concerned, and I live right near there and
Sure.
travel that road all the time. Second thing for me is you're on a frontage road. That road needs a lot of help. Would you consider repaving that whole road and taking responsibility for that? Because you're going to add more cars to that process than what's there. That road always needs help.
Yeah. So I guess let me address your in reverse order here. So as far as taking authority over the road, my understanding is it's a private road right now. I don't have the agreement or anything. I'm not aware of what that is. So I don't know what that would look like for us to. I would assume since it's a private road, there's some sort of an association that the owner would have to pay into for road maintenance and those types of things. Club Car Wash certainly doesn't shy away from doing those types of things. It's just I don't have a firm answer for you on that because I don't know what that agreement is. Talking about traffic, and I believe Mr. Miller may have something to say as well on traffic, but what we can do is we can control and talk about kind of our club car wash. Whether or not the Seven Brew traffic would impact our operations is certainly something that we would want to look at from an operations standpoint. But from a spilling out or adding to the existing traffic, again, most of our trips are pass by. People don't typically leave just to go get a car wash. We would do a full traffic study though to show that we're not essentially causing anything to be worse than what it is right now. I can't promise that I'll fix Seven Brew's traffic issues.
Well, they're not Seven Brews, they're the whole communities, because there are
Certainly.
other businesses, including Midas and Domino's right next door, and other businesses along that track, so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cars that go in and out of there.
Certainly. Like I said, we'll have to provide that full traffic study, and I understand that essentially from what I'm kind of absorbing from the board is the two main concerns are noise and primarily is traffic concerns. And so obviously doing a thorough traffic study, a TIA to investigate what those are, how they're going to impact our site, and then how we will play into the larger traffic condition out there. My belief is that the traffic study will come back and show that we are not going to be a major contributor to any existing traffic issues out there or exacerbate any of those issues out there. But obviously we would have to show that with empirical evidence in the traffic study.
Having traveled that road extensively, I guess I'm not buying that. I have to have that shown to me.
Certainly.
Because I'm aware of a lot of traffic on that road and a lot of things that are in the way. And is that Mr. Miller getting up to talk about traffic?
No, this is Steve. He's the traffic
maybe if
engineer.
Mr. Miller spent a couple minutes talking to us about what excites them about that traffic flow, then that would be great.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the time. My name is Bobby Miller. I'm the contract purchaser. I came out a couple weeks ago for a meeting that we had with the interim planning and zoning director. And the first comment I made was what terrible condition I thought the frontage road was in. So I agree with you. And I can tell you that if the project were approved, I would personally assemble all of the commercial property owners along that road, whether it's an association or not an association, and form an association and explain to them the benefits of having a much better road in better condition than the condition it's currently in right now.
Maybe
So-
chipping in to redo it?
I don't know the cost of doing it. I've done roads
I'm just
before, but
saying.
yes, I'm sure we could form a partnership with one another to
Exactly.
do something like that. But it was one of the first things that I noticed. Another thing that I noticed when we were working with Tracy early on in the project, who's not with the city anymore, is the first thing she brought to our attention without recognizing it was the traffic that Seven Brew created on the, I guess, northern corridor by the Walmart. That it was unanticipated. It created a huge cluster in the immediate area. It was a problem. And in her opinion, and she was being transparent, that the board of the city wasn't really in the mood to have another issue like that along that frontage road.
And who was this?
Tracy, Colleen? Colleen. Sorry, I apologize,
oh,
Colleen.
okay, okay.
My
Yes,
apologies.
I got you.
So prior to the meeting that we had on, I think, the 24th, maybe, I came out here, we had a meeting on a Tuesday. I came out here on a Monday morning between 8 and 9 to personally witness what I was expecting to be a huge cluster of traffic. And maybe I caught the anomaly, but my traffic engineer, Steve Corcoran, came also the Tuesday after the Monday I came, the day of the hearing that we had, and maybe he caught the anomaly. And I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but I think the honeymoon period may be over unless we just caught two anomalies of 2 consecutive days. In that there was maybe 1 to 3 cars in the stack. It wasn't consistent. They weren't busy. And I'm not, you live in the community. I don't. I live in a different community. And I'm happy to come out here again and again and again and again and again to try to see the traffic that Colleen was describing. The 2 times that we came out, and there were only 2 of them, there weren't 20 of them, I just didn't see the traffic that she was referring to. And these were what I would have determined prime coffee times during the morning. They were between 8 and 10 in the morning on a Monday and a Tuesday.
If I could jump in there.
Go ahead, please. These are the
So-
only 2 times that I witnessed this.
No,
so
I totally
I'm not
get it.
trying to be argumentative. I'm just
No, totally get it,
at
and I
all.
would do the same. But it's not a typical coffee. Most of most of the customers are sitting back there, right? So they're not getting up at between 6 and 9 and getting coffee. They're getting this afternoon drinks and stuff like that. So it is not a normal flow. It's not like Starbucks. It's not going to be anything like that. It's not like Dunkin' Donuts even. It's got its own weird influx of times, and it usually is, oddly enough, at rush hour at the end of the day. So anywhere between 3 and 6, it's a nightmare. And so that's in the late afternoon to early evening, and you don't anticipate that at all. And then on the weekends, it could be anywhere from 10 in the morning to 2. It has huge flux where there's no one there, and then
I believe
go
you,
back
and
an
I will
hour.
come out during those hours again to witness it with my own 2 eyes. I just was here between 8 and 10 in the morning, and perhaps that customer attracts a different demographic than the typical coffee customer, and I'm sure you're right. Just those particular times of day, it was dead. But that's not to say between 3 and 6 it's not, and I will come out here and witness it. But with respect to the traffic that it does generate, and the traffic along that road, that I give you my word, I will assemble a homeowners organization together, to commercial property owners organization together to propose to fix the road. Steve lives nearby and did some preliminary studies himself, and I will let.
Let me talk about that.
Yes, that's exactly, I'm introducing you.
Okay. Okay. Good evening. My name's Steve Corcoran. I'm Director of Traffic Engineering at Erickson Engineering Associates. As Bobby started to infer, I live in a nearby community and coming out in this area quite often, shop at Costco, love Anna's Polish Deli, as well as, excuse me, back in high school, my son actually used to work at that Midas, right there on the frontage road. So I definitely know the area, been out there. I've seen some of the backups with 7 Brew. And in fact, that's how I found out that 7 Brew was there. I'm driving to Costco and I see, what's all this traffic backed up on the frontage road? And there was 7 Brew when it first opened. So, but 7 Brews at the north end of the frontage road, we're at the south end, and that gives us opportunities to keep our traffic flow separate.
Be able to put the presentation back up.
Yeah, it'll come up in a minute.
There it is.
Okay, so I have 2 exhibits here just to quickly show. And first of all, we're going to do a traffic study. We're going to do traffic counts, observations, and try to address all your concerns as part of that study. But in terms of, this shows the green is the inbound flows that could potentially go to the car wash. When you're coming from westbound Rand Road, you can either make a right turn at the Deer Path or to the entrance to the frontage road and go to the site. You can come down Deer Path, and we're not going in front of the 7 Brew. Obviously, if you're coming from the west, eastbound on Rand Road, you're going to probably end up making that left turn at the traffic signal and then make the right turn and go past 7 Brew. So there definitely is overlap on the inbound flow. But a lot of the other directions, we are at the southern end away from their site.
Excuse me, I do have a specific question. What is the on-site vehicle load for queuing? Because 7 Brew has a 2-turn lane approach, or how many cars would you be stacking on site with the design that you're proposing?
There's 29 cars can stack plus 6 in the tunnel itself.
Okay.
So, and this shows the outbound flows. This is a little harder to read, I apologize. But if you're wanting to go left on the Rand Road back to the east, you're not gonna go north and fight the frontage road, because, like especially on a Saturday, I've been in it, the traffic signal at at Pheasant Ridge backs up for traffic coming out of the Walmart, and you're trying to make that left from the frontage road. You're not gonna do that. To then backtrack to go further east on Rand Road, you're most likely gonna take Deer Path to Old Rand Road to make your left turn. So, again, we'll provide more information, more details, but our initial feeling and look at this is most of our traffic is going to not conflict with 7 Brew and as well as the Pheasant Ridge traffic signal. And then keep in mind, as I think you all know, 7 Brew, their access is supposed to be left in, right out. So they're not supposed to be sending traffic in our direction, so they probably a few cars do, so. And that's my summary. So anyhow, we look forward to working with you folks as we go on.
And this
Okay.
might be a question for you, but if you were number 35 in the queue, let's say, how long is it to go from number 35 of the queue to get out of the car wash? Because I'm
Well,
thinking 90 an hour, you fit 35. is
It's
stacked up.
120 an hour, so basically every 30 seconds, so that'd be 17 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, use the mic, please.
Yeah. If you have, I should say, I do not anticipate ever actually having, maybe right at their grand opening, almost never would you have 35 cars queued up. This is significantly more queuing than we would have on almost any other club car wash site. Most of our club car wash sites have right around 20 to 18 queuing spaces. So part of this is also like, you have a club car wash membership and you drive by and you see 30 cars in the queue, you're going to get your car washed tomorrow.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Further, you talked about the rear of the property and the 4 residences that were directly affected. It looks like on both sides of the property line, there's an equal number of tree. I can't tell from what I'm looking at how much there is there, but we'll be going from essentially a residential building to a commercial building with a lot of traffic. It's residential to residential now. It's going to be residential to commercial when you get finished with it, with way more cars and way more noise, regardless of how quiet you might think it is. It's not going to be quiet to those people. They have rabbit ears, and they're going to have rabbit ears when it comes to doors slamming, the vacuums going, and I know it appears the heavy-duty noise stuff is away from the residences, which is a good move. But they're going to come out, and they're not going to be extremely happy about that. So be aware of that. And as far as the traffic study is concerned, I would like to see that before we even, and you'll get to that probably during the PCC thing. So anybody got anything else?
Could I just ask, do you mean you'd like to see that before we come to planning and
No,
zoning?
I'd like to see that
Okay.
at the PCC.
Okay, certainly.
I'm not asking you to come back here. For
So,
that.
I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
No, we get it. You know, and where's this? I know where one car wash is. Where's the second one? You said there were 2 in Lake Zurich.
I believe there's one at your gas station, and then I think there is like a older style multi-bay where you pull in, you wash your own car.
There's a raceway and there's like 2 detail car washes. The raceway's at the gas station.
Yeah, there's the one over
And
by
then
Target.
the other one's in that, I'm at the shopping center right there on the southwest corner of 22 and Rand. Further to the south there, there's that like car care center. There's like a detail shop.
Yeah,
so
okay, yeah, that's
I don't remember the name.
Platinum or something like that. It's where the Dunkin' Donuts is, right there, back in there. Yeah, okay, that's not a car wash, though. I mean, I guess it is, but one car every day. Maybe, so.
You have a car wash desert.
Well, maybe, but you know, here's the problem that we have. We have limited opportunities for expansion of anything in Lake Zurich because we're pretty much built out. And we keep getting proposals that want to shoehorn, in my impression anyway, shoehorn larger than needed new amenities into the community. And we're not there, I guess, at this point. So anyway, you got our input.
Yes.
It's up to you if you want to continue, and but thank you for coming in, and thank you for considering us. We appreciate that.
Of course, appreciate everybody's time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, that's the end of the new business. We go on to trustee reports. Are there any trustee reports or stray comments tonight by anybody?
Yeah, I got one down here.
I'm looking at Jake and.
Looking right at me. All right, I'm up for it. I just want to commend the Village of Lake Zurich, District 95, and Mike Brown's Public Works Department on the Solid Waste Collection Agency of Lake County event that was held this weekend. I heard from the organization that we had over 700 appointments scheduled, over 92 warehouse-sized boxes of waste were collected, and over 8,000 gallons of latex paint that would have otherwise probably wound up down your drain. So just want to commend the community on trying to get waste to the right spot, and thank the village staff, administration, Public Works for making it happen.
Okay. They didn't used to take latex paint. That's good that they do now. Anybody else? Nope. Okay. Moving on to village staff reports. Any staff reports tonight from anybody? Michael Dubner?
Just a very short one. We completed our curbside e-waste collection last week. Couple hiccups here and there, but we did collect, or LRS on our behalf, collected 3.2 tons of e-waste during both of those days. Again, items that did not end up in the landfill, items that are now heading to recyclers to recover gold and copper and all of the precious metals that are contained in electronic gear. So I just wanted to point that out.
And I think the same day there was a shredding event at St. Francis. So we got rid of some household chemical waste, and we got rid of some paper and cardboard and junk, and we had a great day, I think, at the styrofoam place that day.
Yeah, I looked at the trailer this morning and it is stuffed full.
Yeah.
So I know they were very busy, and we appreciate all the volunteers that come out every other week to help us on the first and third Saturday of the month. We have some slots open if anybody is looking for them
We're
opportunities.
looking for volunteers and community service time to the honors class back there who might be able to come over and help us out at the Styrofoam Center. So don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Come on, let's come on, help us out here. I see somebody shaking his head. I'm going to ask you for your name before you leave, so. Yeah, you. Okay, thank you. Anybody else on the staff? No? Okay. That ends our regular business for tonight. We're adjourning to executive session, call for the purpose of reviewing executive session minutes, purchase or lease of real property, setting of price for sale or lease of real property, probable or imminent litigation. There will be no voting action or board business discussed after closed session. The adjournment of executive session will be the final adjournment at the end of the meeting. May I have a motion and a second to adjourn tonight's regular meeting to executive session?
So moved, Marks.
Jake, and a second, please.
Second, Bharadwaj.
Sue?
Yes.
Kathleen, please call the roll.
Trustee Riley?
Aye.
Trustee Shagru?
Aye.
Trustee Wider?
Aye.
Trustee Bharadwaj? Aye. Trustee Marks?
Aye.
Okay,
Meeting adjourns at 8:08.
what?
I said
Okay.
8:08.
All right, we are adjourned to executive session. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Come back again, kids. We're going to be here every other